Well, let's talk a little more about functions. First of all, I want to point out the square root property, and that's this. If x squared equals c, then x equals plus or minus root c. These are the solutions to this equation. Notice, at no time did I ever put a square root symbol over this x squared. If you use a square root symbol, all you get back is the positive result. But the solution is x equals plus or minus the square root of c. So for example, we claim this is a function, and here's why. If we graph it, here's what we get, and we can plot points, but I would just memorize the shape of this graph and be able to replicate it anytime you see the equation. Saves a lot of trouble. And notice, there's no plus or minus in front of this, so we only get the positive values. If there was a minus sign here, we would only get the negative values, and we would flip this thing over. Now let's look at this, and we have to solve this, and we'll use the square root property. Then y equals plus or minus, and the square root of x squared is x. And the square root of 13 is the square root of 13. There's nothing we can do with that. But the big deal here is that we've got plus or minus. So for any x value here, we have two corresponding y values. And that's why this is not a function. And this is a function. And let's just graph this. Well, if x is positive, we have y equals root 13x, which is something like this. If y is negative, we have negative root 13x, which looks like this. So notice, for every y value, we have for every x coordinate, we have two y coordinates. That's why it's not a function. So we're done.